Why are there so many undeclared voters? I don't think the two parties necessarily speak to a vast majority of people. I think the way the Republican Democratic parties are moving is to really appeal to what I would say the base, really those who are true believers. And so I think as the parties go that way, and that's been happening a lot, there's sort of a whole mass of people who don't identify with sort of those two extreme points of view.
I'm an undeclared voter myself, and I don't know if I've ever voted in a Republican primary, but I reserve the right to do that. I think in New Hampshire, too, we have more of a tradition of moderates across the board.
I think that many of those undeclareds are really Republicans or Democrats, but they just either won't commit or they like the flip-flopping that they can join either.
It's edgy.
But I do think that many people in New Hampshire are truly undeclareds, that they do see that there's some possible merit to either side of the candidates. It's a very interesting way that we actually allow people to switch parties here in New Hampshire.
There's a lot of independents in Hopkinton and in New Hampshire. They do listen to both sides. I think some of the independents vote strategically. I have a friend who is an independent, but I think he will probably vote for the Democratic candidate for president. He wants to vote in the Republican primary. But he's concerned about some of the Republican candidates who are running. So he wants to vote for a more moderate candidate. And I didn't delve into exactly who he was voting for or what, and he has that option. But I'm very certain he will vote for the Democratic candidate for president.
There's no coordinated effort among people to organize other undeclareds to go vote for, Ted Cruz in the next election. You don't see a bunch of Democrats pulling their ticket for Ted Cruz. Mostly, especially this cycle, you have very competitive races on both sides.
You asked me if I'm a rarity, listening to both parties trying to make an independent decision. And am I a rarity? I hope I'm not. I hope people, listen to both sides, because one of these days something great's going to come out of somebody that thinks down the middle.